The drama starts with a terrible accident, but fortunately, a small child named Zizi survives. At the same time, Kian finds out that his sister has had an accident. He rushes to the hospital, but the doctors say that it is too late. His sister has already passed away. This news causes Kian great sorrow, and he tells himself that he will now take care of Zizi. At that moment, a girl named Yukuay arrives. She comes over, hugs Zizi and says, "You are unharmed. I am here with you." She then tells him that she wants to take Zizi with her. This surprises Kian. He says that this is the paper on which his sister had written that if anything happens to her, he should take care of Zizi himself. Then Kian takes Zizi along and heads home. On the way, Zizi gets tired and falls asleep. But as soon as Kian reaches home, Zizi starts crying loudly, causing everyone's ears to hurt. At that moment, the doorbell rings, and he sees Yukuay standing outside. Seeing Zizi cry shakes her deeply. Kian looks at Yukuay and asks, "How did you get inside?" Yukuay replies, "As long as I want, I will stay with my Zizi." Yukuay tries to put Zizi to sleep and assures him that no one will trouble him. On the other hand, Kian plays the piano, reminiscing about his sister. Yukuay really likes his piano playing, and due to exhaustion, she falls asleep right there. The next day, when Kian is boxing in his office, his assistant tells him that everything about Yukuay has been discovered. She is not from this city, and she is the sister of the man involved in that accident, your brother-in-law's sister. What she has been saying seems true. Kian is lost in thought, but Yukuay's intentions do not seem clear. It feels as if she has come for some other mission. Taking the opportunity, Yukuay heads to the locker where Kian keeps his important items like money. She tries to find out the password using her makeup, but just then the bell rings, and she has to remove everything and leave. Seeing a parcel, Yukuay thinks it would be better to give it to Kian at his office. When she reaches the office, no one is there. She tries to check the office locker as well, but Kian sees her. Yukuay immediately acts as if she was only tying her shoelace. Kian looks at a file and keeps it in his locker. Yukuay also watches closely, hoping to find something useful for her work. They come very close to each other. Kian asks, "What happened?" Yukuay makes an excuse. "A fly landed on my head, sir." At that moment, the assistant arrives, but Yukuay says, "Nothing is as you think it is." The assistant smiles. Kian asks Yukuay, "What were you doing near the locker?" "I have saved everything on my phone." When Yukuay sees the phone, it shows that she was hurting Zizi. She panics, runs, and reaches Kian. Angrily, Kian says, "I could even hand you over to the police. You harmed a child. Get out before my anger increases." Yukuay thanks Kian for helping to save Zizi. Now Kian realizes that Yukuay truly cares for Zizi. He says, "You can stay here for a few more days." Yukuay replies, "I'm scared of you. Just don't try to come close to me." Kian says, "You're not even that beautiful." While working in the office, Kian notices that Zizi is sleepwalking. He puts him back in bed. Then he sees Yukuay sleeping on the floor and thinks of placing her on the bed as well. As he lifts her, they accidentally share a kiss. Kian immediately leaves her there and walks away. The next morning, when Yukuay wakes up, she notices that Zizi is not nearby. Worried, she goes outside and sees Kian playing with Zizi. Seeing this makes her very happy. Zizi says, "I'm hungry. Bring food." After bathing, Kian comes outside. Yukuay feels shy seeing him, as if Kian is trying to impress her. They all eat together. Suddenly, a storm hits outside, and a loud thunder frightens Kian, who runs to his room and hides in a box. Yukuay is confused by Kian's behavior. Kian says he wants to go outside but remembers his mother, who had died on a stormy night like this. Yukuay takes Zizi to the hospital. The doctor says that sleepwalking is common in many children and that Zizi will be fine. Returning home, Yukuay checks the box again to see what Kian is really doing, but Kian surprises her from behind. While Yukuay is cooking, Yukuay receives a phone call. He asks which items to take, as he doesn't understand anything. Yukuay says she already gave him the list, but Kian replies that he has no clue because it's his first time going to the market in his life. Meanwhile, Yukuay is eating with Zizi when Kian angrily returns with the items. Yukuay tells him to place the items in the kitchen and take a spoon for himself. Kian angrily says, "I'm not your servant to do whatever you say." Sometime later, Yukuay comes and asks Kian for money, saying Zizi is very restless and wants to go to the park. Kian gives her his card but later joins them in the park himself. Everyone has a great time there. While eating, Yukuay gives Kian a funny cap and says that it will suit him very well. Kian tries to make Zizi laugh, but suddenly Zizi's health starts getting worse. As soon as Yukuay checks the cake, she says that it contains pineapple, and Zizi is allergic to it. They immediately take Zizi to the hospital. Kian accepts his mistake and says that all this happened because of him, but Yukuay tells him that it is not his fault. The doctor arrives and says there is nothing to worry about. Zizi will be fine in a few hours. When Zizi returns home with Yukuay, he sees that Kian has filled his room with toys. Seeing this, Zizi becomes very happy, and Yukuay's feelings for Kian also begin to grow. Then an argument starts between them about Zizi's education. Yukuay says that Zizi should study at home, but Kian says that school will give him the confidence he might never get at home. The next day, Zizi gets admitted to school. He is scared to go, but Kian explains that there are other children there and that he will have a lot of fun. Kian also tells the teacher that Zizi should not face any trouble. The next morning, while both of them are eating, Yukuay says that the house feels very boring without Zizi, and today she will go to school herself to bring him back. Kian agrees. But when Yukuay reaches the school, she sees some children troubling Zizi and saying that his mother has died. Yukuay gets very angry, but she controls herself and warns those children that if they do it again, she will complain to the teacher. Because of this, Yukuay gets angry with Kian and is about to leave the house. Just then, Kian arrives and asks where she is taking Zizi. He says to first leave Zizi in the room and then talk to him. Then Kian tells Yukuay that the accident was planned by her brother. His plan was to kill his sister and take over her property, but unfortunately, he himself became a victim of it. Yukuay asks what proof there is of this. Kian then shows her the reports. Yukuay refuses to accept this. She says that her brother could never do such a thing. Kian, overwhelmed by grief and sorrow for his sister, angrily throws Yukuay out of the house. Zizi also comes outside crying and repeatedly calls out for Yukuay. Seeing this, Kian's heart softens, and he immediately sets out to find Yukuay. Outside, there is a severe storm, but Kian is not afraid and eventually reaches Yukuay. He apologizes to her, but Yukuay angrily says, "You threw me out of the house. Why have you come now?" Kian hugs her, but Yukuay pushes him away. Then, like a true movie hero, Kian confesses his love and kisses Yukuay. Later, when Yukuay is drying her hair at home, she remembers the things Kian said about her brother. Meanwhile, Zizi, like a little superhero, comes to Kian holding a toy sword and says, "Stay away from my Yukuay auntie." Kian promises that he will protect both Zizi and his auntie. Just then, Yukuay arrives and takes Zizi back to his room. In the next scene, Yukuay and Kian are together when suddenly thunder roars in the sky again. Yukuay asks, "Why are you so scared? Why do you hide in the box?" Kian then shares his past, explaining that his mother had died in a similar storm due to a fire in the house. Hearing this, Yukuay feels deeply saddened, as if she is experiencing the grief of her own mother. She comforts Kian, telling him that she is now with him and there is no need to hide in the box anymore. In the following scene, Yukuay and the assistant try to find out the reason behind the accident. They even go to Kian's office, but find no significant evidence. The next day, during dinner, the assistant informs them that the car involved in the accident did not belong to anyone else. It was Kian's own car. Its brakes had been faulty. Hearing this, Yukuay is shocked, but she keeps it hidden from Kian. However, the real secret is something entirely different, one that shakes everyone to their core. Kian begins to suspect that Yukuay is hiding something from him. He even talks to his assistant, but the assistant laughs and says that there is nothing serious. Kian has simply fallen in love. When Kian comes home, Yukuay looks as if she has seen a ghost. Kian asks Zizi if his auntie is hiding something. Zizi, surprised, says that he was forbidden to tell. Kian says, "I will do whatever you say. Please just tell me." He puts on Zizi's favorite cap and promises to reveal everything in exchange for ice cream instead. Zizi tells him that there are papers in a locker, which make his auntie very upset. As soon as Kian sees those papers, he realizes that the accident had happened because of that. Just then, Yukuay receives a phone call. "Hurry, someone is following me." Kian immediately rushes to save her. When they reach home, Kian angrily confronts Yukuay. Why didn't you tell me that the car involved in the accident was mine? This was all my fault. Maybe I should have died. Yukuay stops him and says, It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I trust you. Kian says that he has booked tickets for both Yukuay and Zizi and that they should leave. He asks to be left alone, fearing that his presence might cause trouble for them. Yukuay hugs Kian and takes Zizi with her to leave, but then a storm begins outside. At that moment, Yukuay remembers Kian. As she opens the box, she finds him sitting there, scared. Like a little child, Yukuay kisses his forehead and says, Don't worry, I'm with you. I won't leave you anywhere. We will always stay together. Just as Yukuay is about to kiss him, Zizi arrives and asks, What are you two doing? Kian immediately replies, We were playing hide and seek. Your auntie was looking for me. The next day, Kian removes the box from his house forever and starts his life with a fresh beginning. Sometime later, they find out that during the accident, someone else had tampered with the car's brakes. They reach that man's house, but as soon as he sees them, he runs away. Unfortunately, the two collide in an alley. However, another man also arrives there to kill the thief. Kian does not let him kill him, which makes the man attack Kian instead. A fight breaks out between them. Suddenly, the man's eyes fall on Yukuay. He is about to stab her with a knife when Kian steps in to save Yukuay, but he himself gets injured. Yukuay immediately takes Kian to the hospital. When Kian regains consciousness, he asks, Are you okay? Yukuay says yes. Kian says, I was scared that something might happen to you. If that had happened, I would never have forgiven myself. After some time, the assistant arrives. Kian asks if there is any news about the thief, but the assistant says that first he should recover, and they will search later. Yukuay also stays at the hospital that night, so that no one attacks Kian again. As soon as the lights are turned off, a man enters the room like a villain. For a moment, even Kian gets scared. The man talks in a very strange manner, keeps insulting them, and then crosses the line by starting to flirt with Yukuay. Yukuay gives him a firm reply and says, Kian is my boyfriend, so don't even try to flirt. The next day, when they are at home playing with Zizi, Yukuay sees on the TV news that Kian's company has caught fire. They immediately reach the office, but by then, a lot of damage has already occurred. A few days later, it is Yukuay's birthday. Kian gives Yukuay a gift. When she opens it, it turns out to be exactly the same teddy bear that her brother once gave her as a gift. At that moment, Kian receives a call on his phone from Yukuay's number. He is shocked because Yukuay's phone is not with her and is lying in the room. Everyone panics, thinking that maybe someone else is present in the house besides them. As soon as they open the bathroom door, they see a small gift there. At first, everyone gets scared, thinking it might be something dangerous, but when they open it, there is a flash drive inside. When they play the flash drive, there is a video showing Yukuay's brother killing his wife and taking her toward the car. After seeing this, Kian says, Even if all of this is true, you are not like your brother. I trust you completely. Kian says that this video might also be fake. In the next scene, Yukuay gives Kian a card and says to scan it so that he can see Zizi's location. Turns out to be a code for a mobile watch. Yukuay says, Come early today. I'm scared. And this is where the real game begins. When Kian is at the office, his assistant mixes sleeping drugs into his coffee, causing Kian to lose consciousness. When he wakes up and looks at the time, he is shocked to see that he has been asleep for so long, even though he was supposed to leave early today. Kian comes home with flowers for Yukuay, but Yukuay is not present in the house. Zizi is hiding in the bathroom. Kian asks what happened. Zizi tells him everything, saying that a man forcefully entered the house, attacked Auntie, but she managed to escape and came to me. Then Auntie hid me in the bathroom and left, taking my mobile hand watch with her. But as soon as she goes outside, the man knocks Yukuay unconscious in a single strike. Then Kian remembers that her location can be traced using the watch. He immediately rushes to that location. There, a man is standing with his face covered. Kian says, Who are you? Show your face. When the face is revealed, Kian is shocked to see that it is none other than his own assistant. The assistant says, Scared? This entire game was mine. Your father killed my father. That night, when there was a fire in the society, your father took off my father's mask and handed it to your family, and my father died. Since then I have been trying to take revenge. I even caused your sister's accident to make you feel what it's like to be separated from your loved ones. And now I won't spare Yukuay either. The assistant is about to pull the tied rope around Yukuay's neck when Kian says, "Your enmity is with me. Fight me." He deliberately angers the assistant to keep him away from Yukuay. And his plan works. A fierce fight breaks out between them. Kian then notices that Yukuay's neck is being choked by the rope. He tries to save her, but the assistant doesn't let him get close. Then Kian gets furious and, like a true hero, beats the assistant mercilessly, disfiguring his face. Kian saves Yukuay and immediately takes her to the hospital. Seeing that the police have also arrived, the assistant hangs himself to avoid jail, ending his story there. At the hospital, Yukuay is unconscious. Kian recalls all his mistakes with her and sincerely apologizes. They say that anyone can be moved by a true apology. After a while, Yukuay regains consciousness and looks at Kian with loving eyes. When Yukuay fully recovers, Kian takes her to a beautiful place and proposes marriage. He holds her delicate hand and places a ring on it, and Yukuay accepts. Little Zizi, smiling, says, "Now you have become my mom and dad." With a sweet smile, this story comes to an end. Which character did you like the most? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.